97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. Hey folks, Michael Spedden here. Welcome to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com. Today we sat down with Sammy Lee from Red Rain. They're going to be opening for LA Guns at Ram's Head on stage in Annapolis on April the 29th. We had a great time talking about band stuff, and we played a couple of their songs, which I really think you're going to enjoy. Their website is redrainband.com. It's red, R-E-I-G-N band.com, and we will have links to get their merchandise and their tour dates and everything else in the show notes of this episode. Without further ado, enjoy our interview with Sammy Lee from Red Rain. Remember, the Back of the Rack is on every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Our replay is every Wednesday morning from 2 to 4 a.m. You can find our videos of all of our interviews at youtube.com/@97underground Michael Spedden. And don't forget to download our free app so you can listen anytime, anywhere. Enjoy the interview. See you next time. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Coming up in a few weeks, we have a big show down at Ram's Head on stage with LA Guns. And the opening act that evening is going to be somebody from our Mid-Atlantic region, a guest band called Red Rain. Red Rain has one hell of a good album out right now. I was just listening to it, and you're going to be hearing it on the Back of the Rack for sure. And today we have Sammy Lee, the drummer, with us to tell us all about Red Rain, to talk about, we're going to play a couple of their songs on the show, and just to talk about some band history. So Sammy, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Michael. I appreciate it. And looking forward to sitting here speaking with you about the band and anything else you want to talk about.
Sure. Well, I tell you what, you have got a killer new album out.
Thank
and
you.
I've really enjoyed listening to it, and we will be hearing it on the show for sure. You are going to get some spins from us here, and it very nicely done. It a 10-song album, full-length album.
That's correct.
So tell us a bit about this here, about this whole process. I'm sure you didn't crank it out in a weekend, right? How long did it take you to...
Actually, the album took one day. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No. So what happened?
I believe that if you were the Ramones.
We actually have an EP that was before the album, and we ended up touring with the EP, playing some big shows 2017, 2018, and 19. And then, as we all know, COVID hit.
Oh, lovely COVID, huh?
Lovely COVID. And so Bubba McMichael, who's our lead singer, does a lot of the writing, most of the writing. And really, believe it or not, with just a 5-song EP, we were playing so often, we didn't really have a chance to slow down and write new material.
Sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah.
That's without a doubt, because again, you got to sit down and you can't just come up with a riff and go into the studio and everything falls in place. There is a lot of working things out.
It's definitely a process. It definitely is. And so, when everything had shut down and nobody was getting together, Bubba really sat down and wrote himself pretty damn good album. The album's it's really a COVID related album. The songs kind of mold into the feelings of what people were going through, reflection, and so on. And when we got into the room, Larry, who's our bass player, Larry Moore, and Stevie Shred, who's our guitar player, really put their spin into the songs as well. I don't do a lot of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest. I don't really have much to do with that. I'm on the business end of the band,
Mm-hmm.
but got the album to where we kind of liked what we were doing, and then we turned it over to our producer, and then he put his spin on it, and voila, that's how we have the album Don't Look Back.
Don't Look Back. And speaking of Don't Look Back, the song Don't Look Back, you had a special guest appear on that song, didn't you?
We did have a special guest appear. We have the one and only Mr. Scary himself, George Lynch.
Yes, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I want to know all about this.
Okay, so um, really how, and I'll go back a little bit. It's a little boring, but Bubba and I were in another band before Red Rain, and I had friended a gentleman long time ago named Wendell Neely, who is on the Classic Metal Show.
Oh,
And
sure. Yeah.
Neely and I became good friends, and then his co-host Chris Ake and I become very good friends as well. They have always promoted the bands I've been in, Red Rain, no exception there. And after the EP and after COVID hit, I was talking to Neely one day, and he happens to be very good friends with the Doc and Camp in general.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep. And so I just was talking to him, and I said, we were a little burned out. Well, we'd been touring pretty good with some big bands, and I said, this next album has to have something. And I don't know why, but I said, would you talk to George Lynch? And Neely said to me, done, be done. And he did. He talked to George, and George agreed to do it. And the rest is history. He's on the album,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it turned out great. Some people, immediately, heard the first couple notes and knew it was George Lynch. So
Oh, I agree. There's no
great.
mistaking it. There's no mistaking it at all. And it was very well done. Very well. What was it like to work with him?
Well, unfortunately, in today's world, we didn't really get to meet him face to face.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. I was able to talk to him on the phone, which is great. And he said to me, what is it? What is it you're looking for? And I mean, first of all, I'm a drummer, so that's number one. Like, I don't know what I'm looking for. Our producer was busy, so I took it upon myself to say, listen, George, you have done this way longer than I could ever tell you what to do. Whatever feels natural to you,
Mm-hmm.
work. Now, I will say there was some things we did cut out because he really, he went above and beyond anything we could have ever asked for.
I agree. Yeah, I
But
think
man,
so.
he played played maybe a little too many notes that my producer's like, all right, we're dialing it down just a hair. But I
Mhm.
was just extremely pleased with it. And then being on the phone with George Lynch was pretty cool as well.
I can imagine, and it's great that he was gracious, with you, and the product really turned out nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're listening to it, and again, it was, he's a pro. He's a pro. I mean, the
Yeah.
lead work on that song was just, I would say, just highly appropriate, if you can imagine that term, throughout the song, because he was there quite a bit. He quite a few runs by him.
Right. Well, the funny thing is when I think, and I can't speak for David, who's our producer. I think he wanted a little bit more melodic type
Mhm.
tone down a little bit. But I'm like, let's go, let's go. If you're gonna get George Lynch, then you got to have George Lynch.
Of course, yeah.
That's my thinking. Now, does it always coincide with the melody of the song and
Hmm.
and rhythmically? I don't know, but I didn't. Between you and I, didn't care. I mean, I
Hmm.
wanted George Lynch, but we got it to where he wanted, and so that's his specialty. And I thought it turned out great. It's my favorite song on the album. So
Hmm.
you know,
Yep, nice video you have with it too, by the way.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
We
So let
actually have two. We actually have two versions of that video, and we are on the label of Deco Entertainment. And
hmm
the very first version they didn't want us to release, but the second version I let out the bag anyway, as our singer kind of cursing a little bit at the beginning, but which we thought was very funny. So, but we shot everything in the studio when we were
hmm
recording, and we used that as the video backdrop.
Great, great. Well, let's give it a spin. This is "Don't Look Back" by Red Rain, featuring George Lynch. So you're going to be coming to town, coming to Annapolis on April the 29th, and you're going to be with LA Guns, and you've got a number of dates with them. Tell us about it.
We do. So we have a pretty good run going. It's a little split up, but on April 22nd, we'll be up in right outside of Pittsburgh at Jurgles with LA Guns.
Hmm.
And then we will the next night, which is the 23rd, we're going to be in Tonawanda, New York, at the Riviera Theater.
Oh,
We're
okay.
looking
Yeah.
forward to that. And then we come back home. We come back to Richmond, where we're from, Richmond, Virginia, in case somebody. And then the next week we go back out, which will be Tuesday. I believe it's I got to look at the dates. I'm sorry, the 28th, 29th.
Yep.
29th, we're at Ram's Head. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then the next night we will be at the Ardmore, which is the 30th in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
And then we come back down to Tally Ho, which would be obviously May 1st. And then we finish the run May 4th in Virginia Beach at Elevation 27.
Wonderful, wonderful. It sounds like you're really getting in that short amount of time, you're really getting around,
Yeah,
which is
a lot of driving, which is good. We're used to
yeah.
that. But yeah, very exciting. I mean, we're really excited to get back on the road. It's been a little while because due to some issues beyond our control, we didn't play as many shows
Hmm.
the half of last year like we would have. So it's good to get back out.
Right, right. Now, have you done anything with LA Guns before? Is this your first time working with them?
This will be our first time with LA Guns. We have worked with other bands,
Hmm.
but this is our first time with LA Guns.
Right, right. Well, I just had Tracy on the show last week, and he's a great guy, so I think you'll enjoy your time with them.
I look very forward to meeting him
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah.
rest of the band. I mean, listen, I bought the very first LA Guns album. I love that album. With one of my favorite songs, Electric Gypsy,
Yep.
and,
Hmm.
obviously No Mercy's a great song. I mean, that album, I really listened to that album a lot.
Oh
So
yeah, they were big in this area too on the East Coast. They used to, Tracy told me he really enjoyed playing in this area here. They used to do Hammerjacks and Network quite a bit up here. I'm
yeah,
sure they hit Virginia quite a bit too.
yeah, they did.
And they also enjoyed playing the all ages shows too, giving people who weren't quite old enough to get in to the regular shows. Fake IDs were rampant back then, but those of us who couldn't get one would go
Yep.
to the matinees.
I had one, so I got to go to the older shows. But yeah, it's always good when you can do that because some of the younger people can come out and see what it's like just to see somebody playing instruments and playing music. It's an event.
Well, it is too, and it's great to be able to see a band in more of an intimate, where you're a little bit closer to the stage. I mean, a lot of times when you're young, I mean, the best concert tickets you can afford. I mean, you're way at the top of the nosebleed section in an arena,
Yeah,
and everybody looks like ants.
right,
And
right.
for this, you really get a chance to be up close and you get to see them, and it's exciting and it's a really good experience.
It is. It really is. And it's just good to get out and see shows. I mean, music has the power. I don't want to sound, corny or cliche, but it really does. Music has sort of a little bit of a healing power.
Hmm.
Even, you go into a show for 2 hours, you forget what's going on in your world. And maybe you go back to it, but for those 2 hours, hopefully you're entertained, whether it be by us or LA Guns or
Oh
somebody.
yeah,
So
it is.
that's our goal.
It's a great escape. It really is.
It is. It is. So
It really is. And especially too when the bands are gracious with people, they'll, be willing to come out and say hello a little bit and interact as, with everybody too.
yeah, we're real. And obviously they're not. We're sort of the dressing on the salad. Obviously, we're the
Right,
opening
right.
band, but I tell you, we're very conscious about that. After
Hmm.
every show, we run our stuff in the back and we go right to the merch table.
Hmm.
Obviously they're not paying their money to see Red Rain, but I always felt like if you ever paid a penny to see anybody, they owe you a high. That was it. You don't have to
Sure.
because that's the bread and butter. I mean, the people who support you are the people who make you. And
Yeah.
we're very self-conscious about it. We try to talk to each and every person who will come to our table and
Hmm.
just, we'll stand out there all night if we have to. So That's our gig.
That's what it's all about, really. That's what it's all about. And being approachable, meeting folks. I enjoy doing it myself, at my
Yeah.
shows, whether I'm doing it for the radio or doing my own acting. I always enjoy talking to folks and getting to know people, and I like meeting them more when they have good things to say to me. If they're going to tell me I sucked or something, I'm not real keen on it. But
Well, that's the other thing, and I'm like you. I mean, we really do. We've met so many nice people that, that will still email us on Facebook, or send us a message through Facebook, or the email that I have. And we talk, we're still friends. But you know what? I have no problem somebody come up and tell me we suck. I don't.
mm-hmm.
But because, here's the bottom line. If you came and you saw us and you didn't like it, maybe we're not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not going to sit here and waste my 20 minutes of explaining to people why you should like us. You have your
Mm-hmm.
own opinion, and that's the beauty about music.
Right.
It's it's I can't think of the word I'm looking for now, but it's
Subjective.
your right. It's your right to like what you like and what you don't like, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to keep playing whether you like us or not.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
but,
there's you, and then there's all these people over here. So I'll
right.
stick with them. Then.
I'll tell you a real quick story. Years ago,
Uh-huh.
I was in a band that did covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did Flying High again by Ozzy, and I'm talking years way back. And I had a guitar player, and this had nothing to do with Red Rain. Guitar player who could play Randy Rhoads. He was that good. And we get off stage, we're taking a break. This is a little bar here in Richmond. And I had a couple come up to me and they said, "Hey, you guys are really good." And we were like, "Oh, thank you." But in the second verse, and they started picking apart of how we didn't do it this way, we didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him, I said, "Hey, listen, I get it. And you want to hear what you want to hear, but you have to remember, he's not Randy Rhoads. We don't have Ozzy up there. It's our interpretation of the song. We play it as close as we can, but we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to, and so, but that's why I don't play covers anymore."
I know. I don't blame you for that. So there's another song on the album called "Here I Am" that you wanted to share with us today. Tell us about that.
So that song, again, a little bit over COVID. That song's about isolation to a point where somebody who's depressed. Obviously, during COVID, we had a lot of depressed people. We had a lot of people who were in isolation, who might be thinking about an alternative motive. Obviously, you hate saying the word, but suicidal.
Sure.
Is in a deep, dark place. This song is called "Here I Am," meaning that. And again, I'm not in this world, so I don't know. But if you ever feel dark, just reach out to somebody. There's always somebody there for you.
Certainly.
And that's basically what the song's about, is if you just, and again, I'm not in that space, so I don't know what this means, but if somebody could just really think about it for a second, like, let me just reach out and see if somebody will help me. There's always somebody there to help you and be there for you.
You're not alone, others feel it too. You're standing alone, but I'm by your side. Stop trying to run from what you're feeling inside. When your hope is gone and you need a friend, you won't have to look too far, 'cause here I am. When you feel that you've lost your way, I'm right beside you, right here to stay. When your hope is gone and you need a friend, you won't have to look too far, 'cause here I am. When you feel that you've lost your way, I'm right beside you, right here to stay. Here I
So, as you were telling me before, you've done quite a bit of touring with some national acts. Last year, I was looking at some of your material online, and it said you were out with Nazareth last year. That's exciting, or I
Yeah.
bet it was exciting. I guess it's not anymore, but
It was definitely, yes. It's, again, you're with an iconic band,
Mhm.
and we had a good run there. We had a week run with them, where we were in Chicago, we were in Indiana, we were in Ohio, we were in New Hampshire. So yeah, we had a really good run there with them. Great guys, um, great team of people that we got to know every day. What their people who helped set up their equipment and stuff. We got to know them very well,
Mhm.
and it was just a very smooth tour for us. Um, and we've been very fortunate. We've been on the road with a lot of bands and have had the same experience, And so it couldn't have worked out any better for us.
That's great to hear. That's really great to hear because I've heard of some acts out there, and I'm not going to mention names, but where somebody in the band, a band, from our region is, getting the opportunity to tour with a national act, and it was only one element, one person was an absolute nightmare to deal with, made the whole thing miserable when it could have just gone smoothly, and there was no
Right.
reason for these outbursts, the behavior. But some people, I guess, are just it's in their blood, maybe.
I will say, and again, I won't mention anything. Out of all the bands we've been on tour with, and we've been with a lot of them, one band, very nice to us,
Hmm.
but had that mentality that they were still playing like Madison Square Garden.
Oh, sure, sure.
So, and listen, I'm not in that person's shoes. So I don't judge.
Hmm.
Our thing is, when our motto for Red Rain is, we get on these tours, we plan out when we're supposed to be there, what we're supposed to do. We stay out everybody's way. We do our thing. And then, if unfortunately, we don't have a tour bus.
Hmm.
So if we have to be in another city another night, we have to leave earlier than the show's over. And because we drive ourselves, so we have to go to the next show. But
Certainly.
that's the key to it. And
Hmm.
it's worked out very well for us. We've made a lot of, really good acquaintances with a lot of the bands that we've opened with. So it's worked out well.
It really is, and even with with us being there in a promotional role, I do try to mind my P's and Q's because, they've got to get ready to play. And I, being a musician myself, I know what it's like to be in pregame. You got a million things going through your head. You want to make sure you're in tune, especially if, a lot of guys don't have roadies,
Right.
You
We're
gotta
one of
make
them. We're a band that doesn't have any of them.
Right, right. So you want to make sure everything's right. And while you'd like to chat under different circumstances, you don't want to make a nuisance of yourself and be like, hey, this one time, and just keep talking their ears off.
Right.
Now there's been times when I've been back and people are like, hey, you don't have to leave. Come on, stick around, have another beer or something, But I understand where you're coming from on that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where can we find out more about Red Rain?
Yeah, so we have our website. It's redrainband.com, but that's REDREIGN, redrainband.com. We're on all the social media. So
Yep.
we're on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. We're on all the downloadable music sites. So we're on Apple, and we're on I don't even know, Spotify. I mean, Google
Yeah.
Play, Amazon Play, Music, all of them. Anything you can find downloadable music, we're on, and it's Red Rain, REIGN, and then and now upcoming recently, not recently, upcoming. If you'd like to see us live, let me explain to you where we're going to be there, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So we start off again in Warrendale, Pennsylvania, at Jurgles. Where the tour kicks off, and then the next night we're going to be at the Riviera Theater up in Tonawanda, and then, like I said, we split it up. We come back, and then the big show for us, because we've never played Ram's Head live. We're very excited about that because we've played that area once, but we've been trying to get into this venue, so we're very excited about that. So we can't wait to get Ram's Head live, April 29th. And then after that, we'll go to the Ardmore Music Hall in Pennsylvania. After that, we're at Tally Ho Theater. And then again, like I said, May 4th, we'll be at Elevation 27 of Virginia Beach. But we can't wait to get up there and not only be at Ram's Head, but spend some time with 97 Underground.
Absolutely. And folks, we've been listening to Sammy Lee of Red Rain. They're going to be in the Annapolis area. Ram's Head on stage April 29th with 97 Underground. We will be there. They're going to be opening for LA Guns. So folks, make sure you get your tickets. You can get your tickets at Ram's Head on Stage's website. And we will see you that night. Sammy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by and speaking with us. And folks, come on out. You'll get to see him in person.
Thanks for having me. And we look forward to meeting everybody, and especially you as well.
All right, folks. We'll be back right after these words. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere.
Metal.
Worldwide Metal 24/7. 97underground.com.